Hey everybody, welcome. Thanks for showing up to our Tuesday Q&A. We're gonna continue with the same method that we did last week. If you've got any questions, this week we're gonna try and move everything towards routes. Any route questions that you have, any route issues that you're having, go ahead and raise your hand and then we can go ahead and take questions. I think you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you.
Great. So we just have one route for our dry cleaners, and we oftentimes have when in the beginning of the day when we look at the route, it will automatically number a route for us, which is great, except a lot of the times it doesn't start where we need it to start, so we have to manually rearrange the route. Is there a way to put some sort of start position for where our routes start every day, or how do we solve that problem other than just manually changing it?
This is a good question. So whenever you're referencing it's out of order, are you saying that you generally do it forward to backward, or is there a specific you start one, you know, Tuesdays you start at 10 instead of 1, or is there a
Um,
specific thing you do?
no, whenever we start, whether it's like 8 a.m. or wherever we start, when we look at the actual module and you can see like on the map where each location is located, where we are starting our route is not the closest to our first stop. So, like, for example, we are in Tacoma area of Washington State, and we start our route typically at our Puyallup location, which is like 20 minutes away. So we start our route in Puyallup, and our number one stop is typically like in Tacoma, which is not where we want to start. We want to start in Puyallup. Um, so is there a way for our module to start us at that primary location where our delivery route is started at? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. Hey, this is Chris. So it sounds like either the run from address or the location needs to be updated. So we might have it set that route runs from the plant or something, and it needs to run from a different store. So we should just probably change that. We can do that in the route settings for the route. Um, that's what it sounds like your problem is. So we could take a look at that, and I'm pretty sure that'll fix it.
So can I do that myself, or do I need to have you guys do that?
Nope, you can do it yourself. So as soon as you go into Smart and you go into settings, you'll go
Mhm.
into uh, delivery, and then you'll click on your route. Inside of your route, there's going to be an option where it says runs from, and it's going to have your location addresses or your location names. You just change that location name to whatever location you actually run the route from,
Okay.
and that'll fix that.
Okay. I will try that today. Thank you.
All right, awesome, thank you.
All right, I had my hand up, but I guess I can jump in here. So our drivers are usually out the door by 8 a.m., but we have businesses that don't open till 9 or 10 a.m. for their deliveries. And even though we've set the time windows to reflect that, invariably, it seems like these businesses during route optimization, the business stops are at the front of the route. So my drivers have to, double back or whatever. And even today, I actually set the two time windows for 2 p.m. for these two businesses. When they open it at 10 a.m., the instructions say, after any time after 10 a.m. I set both these businesses for 2 p.m. and they got slotted in as stops 2 and 3 today. So I'm wondering if there's something else on our end that we can do to, if you've got a 50 stop route, it's I don't know, disruptive when we have to double back or whatever.
Okay, yeah. And so is this only for one route, or are there for multiple routes that you run throughout the week
Multiple
at this time?
multiple
routes. Yeah, it's usually doctors' offices, those types of places. So we've got those on all of our routes.
Okay, gotcha. I would definitely want to take a deeper look into that to see which one it's happening on and for how many accounts it's happening to. See if we can kind of formulate maybe a better plan or a different plan. Would you be open to moving your routes around or maybe adding more?
Would I be what?
Would you be open to adding more routes or doing sub routes with those companies specifically? Like have a business route kind of?
I mean, 95% of our customers are homes, personal homes, and then we hit businesses. So I'm not sure what you mean by a sub route. I mean, well, I'm open to any possibility. We're a delivery only company. We don't have retail stores, so I'm always interested in learning how to optimize route service.
And also, hey Jim, it's Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, so also, do you know if your routes are set to be only day, or do they have start and end time selected in the actual route setting?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I haven't monkeyed around with the routes in a long time, but let me go there right now and let's see. I'm pretty sure I've got them all starting at 8 a.m. Why can't I find routes? Oh, there it is, delivery routes. And let's here's the one that it happened on today. That was Tuesday, which one? Tuesday and Friday, 3. And yeah, it's Tuesday and Friday, 3 is set to run on Tuesday and Friday with a start time of 8 a.m., end time of 8 p.m., pickup grace time of 10, delivery grace time of 8.
Yeah, so there should be a setting in the route that says only days are starting in time. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at it. If you want to send in a ticket with the name of a couple of those doctors or offices, and we can just take a peek at it. I'm pretty sure it's probably just some type of setting that's probably a little off.
That'd be great. I've actually I did a support ticket with screenshots this morning. Mary Mar has
Oh,
been
perfect.
so if you can look at that, that would be awesome.
Perfect. I will take a look at it with her then.
Okay.
All right. Looks like currently that's all we have for questions right now. If you do have a question, go ahead and hit the reactions button to where you can raise your hand, and then we can get you in order.
Hello.
Hello?
Hey,
Yeah, I'll go ahead and jump in here. I don't know if it's just an operator thing or not, but when our driver's out on the routes, we have some outlying areas that he doesn't get much of a signal and clears the items that he delivers manually. Is there any way to safeguard to make sure that because we don't charge until we deliver? So, for example, this morning we had a customer that had 5 bundles that we just by fluke discovered that got missed last week, and there's a couple $100 that hadn't been charged to the customer yet. Is there any way that you can recommend that we make sure that doesn't happen, or is there a safeguard built into SMART or some type of report that we could easily follow up to make sure that at the end of the day we've caught all those situations?
yeah, there's definitely a couple methods. First thing that I wanted to ask you was, is there a reason that you're only paying or getting paid once you deliver?
Right. That's the way we set it up in pay upon delivery.
Oh,
And
okay. Rather than run auto pay when racked.
yeah, I mean, it's just kind of the transition from what we used to do back before we went to smart. We were a little uncomfortable charging them before we actually delivered. Um, we could probably evolve into that, especially with our new clients. Um, but yeah, I just didn't know in the interim if there would be something that you would recommend that. But that's not a bad idea to make sure everything's been paid beforehand.
Yeah, so that would be my first recommendation. So the only reason that I recommend that is, sure, we could do a report, but if you're having issues where things may not be getting picked up, even if we built a report for things that were picked up and not paid,
Right. Of course,
the issue,
the other issue too is if the card's bad. That's
right? Yeah, that's the other thing. So yeah, it's kind of a twofold thing where, although it seems like you're having connection issues to where some things do get delivered, some things may not be delivered, and that would be the issue of running the report.
yeah.
Where, sure, if we pick
I,
everything
I,
up, that's delivered, but it doesn't. Yeah.
yeah, I think we can evolve into that. So yeah, that's good. I appreciate Jim's comment there too. That's
Yeah, yep. I definitely think that everybody here would agree that that
okay.
is the best way to go, to
All right.
fastest way to get paid.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
right now you're just playing catch up versus combating it to start.
Yeah, compared to the way we used to do it, believe me, it's a whole lot better now. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right, I think Jorge's next.
Hi. I have a customer that only wants serve pickups on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday, and a delivery that Friday. What is the best setup for that?
Yeah, that's
Can
a
you hear
tough
me?
one. Yep, I heard you. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
So,
I've been having to manually go down months in advance and just schedule her, but she doesn't show. So the pickup shows up, but the delivery doesn't. We just know that, hey, it's Friday and she wants it back. So we've just been loading it manually. And yeah, sure enough, from last year, like, she finally ran out of scheduled pickups and I missed it like last week. So
oh wow.
just trying to see if there's anything I can do for scheduling her. I know someone once mentioned creating a whole nother route for her, but I couldn't understand how that would work.
Yeah, I think the issue. So really, the main issue is doing pickups every other week. There's no way to really guarantee that, because Smart runs weekly and all of our routes run weekly. There's no semi-weekly, or yeah, every other week. That would be your biggest issue, because we do have delivery only days, so you could set them up to deliver only Friday, but that would be the entire route. So for this specific scenario, I don't think that there's a great way to get around this other than manually do it. Yeah, as of right now.
Well, just to jump in really quick also here, this is Chris. I mean, if you do have they were probably telling you another route, because if you do have a route and the customer is listed as will call, like Tyler said, we can control the delivery only days and the pickup only days. It's just the fact that we can't control it being biweekly. So at least if you do have a separate route with those days controlled like that, at least they have the option of getting that text message. So obviously, if she doesn't schedule anything in that week, she doesn't get a message. And then if she wants to confirm it for the following week, it makes your job a lot easier, right? So then you'll pick something up and you'll drop something off. So you do have the option of creating that route and doing it that way, because it also gives her a lot more flexibility. So maybe she wants it biweekly, but maybe one week she wants it the following week, right? And she'll have that flexibility. So that's probably what they meant by creating a new route with those restrictions.
Okay. If I don't have that many people like that, but it's good to know that. Yeah, I thought that's the way it would work, and to just have in the back of my mind that I would need to create a route like that.
So,
For
Jorge, this is Gina.
Hi.
If you want to keep doing it the way you're doing, because like you said, you don't really have this big reason to really make a whole route for just one person. Um, I would suggest keep doing what you're doing. Like you said, you scheduled a bunch of things in advance, which is great. But because you forgot, what you can do on that person's account is just like adding a note, but you would add an issue to their account, and issues have due dates. So when that due date arises, you'll actually get a notification in your notification center under your issues to schedule more stops for her. So that might be a fair way to remind yourself too.
A reminder, yeah.
Mhm.
And we've had the same delivery driver too, so they know that she needs to go back on Fridays. One day we're gonna have a different delivery driver, and they may not know that it needs to go back on Fridays. Yeah, it's just a special
And yeah, it's an instance of making
type
one
of thing.
customer happy. So
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That helps me out. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's see. Go ahead. I believe Mike is up next. I think I just moved him to the bottom on accident. Hey, Mike, can you go ahead and raise your hand again? I think I accidentally just moved you down.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, hey, how you doing there?
Hey,
So I've had this issue before. And it's been ongoing. That with all my routes that go out daily, every day I got to check the manifest, and I had the drivers check the manifest because if I have between, I don't know, 50 and 100 stops on all my routes throughout the day, whenever I get will calls moved in, they are not put into the proper place. So when I have those amount of stops that, every morning, and I brainwash this into my driver's head that every morning before they go out to look on the manifest to make sure all the routes or all the stops are in correct order. I mean, not 95% of them are in correct order, but again, it's just that one that, all of a sudden, if it's number, I don't know, number 45 and it should be number 3, that could cost my drivers a lot of time and, the company money, of course. So every morning I got to look through these routes and make sure that they're all in order. Mainly, it seems like most of the stops when they are out of order, they're will calls. I mean, I go into the back office, and I get the drivers to know, if they're, how to, to get in touch with my secretary and to move them actually all, for once by going into the back office. But it just seems like, I mean, I just am not 100% comfortable, um, every day, again, I have myself or the drivers check the manifest to make sure they're in order. Is there a reason why this is happening, or is it common, or what? I don't know.
that's a good question. So is this post or after you're doing optimization on this
I
route?
don't do optimization. I've tried that before, and that was just a nightmare on my end. So I have a set amount of stops. I go to all my customers' houses, unless they notify they don't want to pick up. So they're all in chronological order, number wise and that type of stuff.
Okay. That's definitely something I'm going to want to look into for
Okay.
sure. Is it all your routes or just?
It varies. I have 6-7 routes go out a day. So,
Sure.
it just, again, it takes 2 minutes because you kind of start familiarize yourself with the names, and you kind of, after looking at them all the time, you kind of get familiarized with them. But it's just, it's just, if I go on vacation or something, I'm always like, can you check this out? Of course, it's a stop that, it's 5 o'clock at night and you got to go back, backtrack because and it takes 45 minutes out of the way. So I don't know. It's just something that I've always had issues with, and I always check my routes daily. I just don't feel 100% comfortable, and because I've been burnt, too many times. And I don't mean to use the word burnt, but I've just, learned my lesson.
Hey, Mike. This
Yeah.
is Mike.
Hey,
How
Mike.
you doing? So I'd like to know how often roughly you think this happens on any route. Overall, do you see it multiple times a week?
I'd probably say if I look at the routes, maybe once or twice a day or every other day, And again, mainly it's calls. It just kind of gets slotted in there that, for some reason or another, it's just throwing them out of whack.
Okay. What I think would be helpful is if we keep an eye on it for maybe 2 or 3 days. Let's get a
Yeah.
handful of examples, maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Let's write down the customer, the stop number that they had that day, and the date.
Okay.
And we can check those out. And when we're looking at the individual examples, we may find things about their stop or their account or something that might help
Yeah.
explain it. And we can also do an analysis on the stop order for that day and just see if it makes sense overall. And that can help us identify what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good then.
Alrighty.
Hey, Jim.
All right. So I'm excited that you guys have your geofence up and running. And but I've been using a third party, one that's connected to Smart through APIs, I think. But I want to get our geofence set up and get rid of that other service because it's it's not connected the way it would be with Smart. Is there anything I need to know as far as I know obviously I need to draw my routes, draw my geofences. I assume once we pull the trigger on it, it's automatically going to move customers potentially from one route to the next route if I draw them a little bit differently, which I'm wanting to do a major reshuffle anyway, based on our customer tendencies. So the question is, I guess, two things. First off, just to clarify, my understanding on my system now, when a customer signs up through the third-party portal, they automatically get assigned to the correct route, the way I've got them drawn out in that platform. In SMRT, when they sign up online, will they automatically get assigned to the Smart geofenced route?
Yeah, yep, they will automatically get assigned to the route as they come in and as they put in their addresses.
Okay, because we're all online. We don't have stores, so they're going online. So Smart will know to assign them to a route because we don't have stores, right?
Right, yep.
Okay. Okay, I think that's all on that subject. Thanks.
Yeah, and just a reminder, so you could start drawing your fences right now and it doesn't put it in place immediately. There's a couple other settings that need to be checked off, to which point you could reach out to us and let us revise it if you have any other questions, and then we can go over it with you and see if you have any other questions.
Yeah,
whenever you feel
that's
comfortable.
well, the one thing, and we're a very kind of a rural community. I'm sitting in our county seat right now at our biggest town, which is 10,000 people. So our routes are pretty rangy, and I want to reconfigure my routes to even them out more. And I've used some different route tools like Routific. You guys run Routific in the background, right? Is that what you use for route optimization and everything?
Yep, that's correct.
So can you recommend a route tool out there where I can drop all of my customers into it and it can, kind of draw out smart routes for me before I, draw my geo fences. So I'm starting from scratch, but with like pre-optimized routes.
Yeah, so you could actually use it with Google Maps, able to load in data into it, and it'll produce all the points. It's kind of a lengthy process if you need help with it, and we could definitely help you out with it.
Well, what I'm looking for is something where I can drop, I can take my customer list from
Yep.
Smart and drop, that list into a mapping software. Is that you're thinking Google Maps is right for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Hey, Jim, if I may,
Yes. Hey, Mike.
I just want to be clear on
Yeah.
what you're looking for. You want to take essentially like a list of addresses and drop them into a program that's going to recommend how to divide them into different routes. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, we run,
Okay.
we run 3 routes, 3 vans Monday through Friday, and then 1 route on Saturdays. And
Okay.
we do a lot of on-demand stuff and same-day stuff and all that. But I'm just
Gotcha.
looking for better bones. The last time I did this, I kind of did it by eyeballing it, and it didn't come out that great. So I'm looking for more of a data-driven route sort
Gotcha.
of
Okay.
setting.
So
Yeah.
for that task, the software you're asking about, Google Maps is what Google Maps can do is it'll plot everything, but it doesn't have any sort of algorithm to analyze them and make a recommendation. However, I know there are several different software platforms out there that will do that, and there's one in particular. Name escapes me at the moment, but a client mentioned it to me a while back, and I'm pretty sure I have the name of that program in my email inbox
Awesome.
somewhere. So if you want to email me when you get a chance and just remind me about that, I'll look for it and I'll see if I can get that name for you.
All right, Mike, I'm sending you an email right now.
All right, sounds good, Jim.
All right. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. Oh, and by the way, anyone who's interested, for anyone who's interested, and also Jim, since you asked about it, I posted links to 2 geofencing articles from the Smart Learning Center in the chat. So that's pretty good introductory documentation. There's a basic setup guide and then FAQs. So hopefully that'll be helpful for everyone.
All right, I think we've got Angie next and then Mike after that.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you
Hi,
doing?
Tyler. Good, good. I have a question that might be a little complicated, so I might have to grab you offline. We have 4 routes and they're numbered 2, 4, 10, and 12. We operate Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday. On previous, pre-COVID or during COVID, we kind of got flexible with our routes and for example, one of our drivers on Monday, Thursday would run Route 12. And then on Tuesday, Friday, she would run a different route. Okay. I am looking to, she wants to keep all of her customers because she's built relationships with them. But I'm trying to streamline the routes. And I don't know if what other dry cleaners have done, but do you use a sub account or do you set up another route number altogether? Does that make sense?
Kind of. When you're saying that she wants to keep her customers, can you kind of elaborate on what you mean by
Yeah,
that?
so she serves customers on Route 4 and she serves customers on Route 12. I am saying, okay, just because that's so confusing to communicate to my CSRs, to anybody, how can I take those customers that Andrea, has on 4 and 12 and make them one route? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Or
are you looking, so you just want to, yeah, you probably heard Mike mention, we could probably just do a sub route of both.
okay,
Or so make one route and then the other one would be a sub route of it, and then they would
okay,
both act as one route under the master.
okay. So a main route and then a sub route underneath that. Okay,
Right. Yep. So then you can still maintain the separate agents of the 2 routes, but it would run as one route together under that master.
that would be amazing. And so that would help with the communication of somebody messaging in and saying, hey, I need a pickup, and we're scrambling to figure out who the driver is for the route. Okay. Has anybody
Yeah.
else on this experienced that or have any guidance on that?
Yeah, doesn't sound like it, but
Okay.
yeah, we
Okay.
do it.
Well,
We do it all the time, but it
all right,
shouldn't be
Tyler.
a very big problem. You can reach out to us, and we can definitely help you with it.
Perfect. All right. I'll reach out to you.
All right, awesome. Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Yep.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, Mike.
Hi. Got a couple questions. First of all, I just ran into an issue which I probably need to call in for, but we had I'd say 6 pairs of 6 items for this one store, and none of the heat seals it scanned, but what it's doing, it's adding numbers into SMRT whenever they detail it, I
Hey,
guess.
we're on a Zoom call and he's asking questions, so that's why I sent him phone.
Is that something that, is there an easy
Okay,
fix,
yeah,
or is
so
that something I need to
we're off
call
this,
in
I'll
for?
have him call you.
Okay, so you're saying, is it two things? Did you try it on a different station? Like, is this only one station that's adding the numbers?
Well, to be
and
honest, Metal Progetti wouldn't take it, and then I tried to do it at our plant computer, and it said, when I scanned the heat seal, it wasn't on file. And I ended up finding out what store it was, sent it to that store, and then she was able to look it up and get it. But so no, it wouldn't scan it any because it has the extra digit in SMRT.
Okay. Yeah, if you could put in a ticket for us with the information of the barcode so we could take a look at it and the items and the orders that they're on, that would help us out the best.
Okay, I just figured that'd be the case, but I do have a couple more questions. What is the report missing barcodes? What is that gonna do for us?
Yeah, so that would just be any item that doesn't have a barcode on it that would be in your system.
Like paper tags or what?
Could be paper tags, or it could just be actual heat seals.
So, hey, Mike, this is Chris. Just to kind of jump in to answer that question. So yeah, the items missing barcode report. Let's say, for example, your detailers are detailing items, and then they detail an item. They put no barcode on this item, and at the end of the day, you're like, who does this item belong to, right? At least that items with no barcode report will tell you where that item came from, what account it belongs to, and you can say, okay, this is a pair of blue pants. That pair of blue pants doesn't have a barcode. This customer came in with a pair of blue pants with no barcode, so this is who it probably belongs to. It's a good way to kind of help you find missing items, so to speak.
Okay, great, thanks. And then one more question, is picked up not paid the same as AR? Or is it included in the AR?
Technical difficulties. One moment.
Okay, can you hear me, Mike?
Yes.
Okay, so you're asking about picked up not paid in AR. So AR happens when an order gets the ready status, or better, as I say, either ready or returned. Essentially, you finish the work, and it enters AR when you rack it, and it goes into ready status. AR is everything in that condition, in that state, that is not paid. Whereas picked up not paid is specifically the portion of those orders that have already gone back to the customer.
Okay.
The difference will be the stuff that you still have in inventory that's not paid. That will be part of AR, but not part of picked up not paid.
Okay, so this is part of AR, yeah.
Yeah.
And then one other question, is there a reminder text when we're doing physical inventory that, we scan an item and it's been here so many days, it'll automatically send out a message reminder to pick up weekly whenever we do physical inventories?
So the inventory reminders would be a part of our marketing program, which is a separate service that is paid. You can pick the intervals in which you send out the reminders and everything. So it does not happen when you just do inventory. It'll just happen if you're on our marketing service, and then you can set up the intervals in which you want to send. So if Ann Smith has something left for 14 days, right on that 14th day, a message will be sent to Ann Smith.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thing.
Well, that's a lot. Yes, but I
All right. I think we've got Bill is up next. And then we've got
Hey
Mike
guys.
after. Hey, how you
Right
doing,
on.
Bill?
Oh, good. Question now. I'm having trouble associating old customers that were imported with a numerical ID with customers that are new customers that have a numerical and letters in their ID.
Yeah, so we actually just pushed out a fix for that. Should have been yesterday. Have you tried it
Oh.
since then?
No, I just was wondering about that because I had a big issue with it
Yeah.
end of last week.
Yeah, yep, that's exactly what happened. But yep, since then we've pushed out a fix and it should be good. Haven't received any reports since then.
Okay.
So I would
And
test it now.
no, great. And I was wondering if it's possible to move that photo button back to the right because we keep hitting dupe. My CSRs are also used to hitting the photo button that's on it was always on the right of the bar. Now there's photo and then dupe.
Really?
And I think it got moved. Because I go to hit the photo button and they go to hit the photo button and they're hitting dupe. So the dupe for a duplicate number comes up opposed to just hitting the photo. You muted.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a look into that. I don't think
I
that
think
we
I'm pretty
changed
sure
the
it got
sides that
moved.
it's been on.
It feels like because every time now I go to hit photo, I'm hitting where the dupe button is. Because I
And this
believe
is
got changed. I'm not 100% sure, but not for like me and my other CSRs. We're hitting like the dupe button all the time.
okay. And this is during detailing, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
And
perfect. Yeah.
one more other question. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
With questions. We have some accounts that do electronic banking. So we send them a statement in the beginning of the month. And so once we get their payment, they pay it, but if we get an email that it's gone through, is there any way of backdating the payment? So if we don't put it in right away, for example, if we get it on a Saturday, we're not paying attention, or we get it on a Saturday, and then we come Monday, Tuesday, we see that the payment went through. We can't backdate it on Smart so it kind of screws up a little bit of the statement. It kind of makes it odd. Is there any way of backdating it?
There isn't, but I could definitely see how that would cause confusion with the statement. But yeah, there's not a way, just based off of when you hit pay in Smart.
Well, this is like we have to input it, so it's not
Right.
like automatic from Smart. So we actually have to manually input the bank transfer.
Right. Yep. Yeah. As soon as whenever you do the bank transfer in Smart is when it will be in Smart. There
Right.
not a way to automatically do it.
No, that's not what I'm asking. Like, so to say we received it on the weekend, but come like Tuesday, Wednesday, we forgot about it. Now we're gonna manually enter it. We can't backdate that payment. Can
No.
we?
No.
Is there
No.
any plans on doing that? To fix this, so the statement comes out differently? Because it comes out kind of funky.
Gotcha. Yeah, it would, because it'll show, the next month whenever the statement is made, it shows, oh, the payment was taken on the 26th when they're like, hey, we paid you on the 23rd, or
Right,
something like
exactly.
that.
exactly.
Yeah, no, there isn't a way to do that. And I don't think there's any plans to do that off the top of my head. I haven't heard of anything like that, but I can look into it for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, not a problem.
Hi, Billy.
Hey, how's it going, Gina?
Good.
All right, I think we've got Mike up next.
Hey, all right, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So one question I have, and my team members just told me about this not too long ago, that if I go, I scan in the morning for my routes, I rack them in the morning, okay? And then when I go to deliver them to the person's house, we rack them, which I'm not too keen on. There's two ways you can rack them that you are set up in SMART. One is you can manually rack them, where you hold the phone up and you scan the barcode. Or the other way is you can just check it off with your thumb, which is not a good check and balance system. That I'd like to learn how to turn that off, because the drivers get lazy and they don't scan them like they should. Because if they scan them and they beep, they know they're misdelivering something. But whereas in SMART, you have the option of, you can just kind of swipe it off with your thumb, and it goes to show for delivery. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, so there's actually a setting that can require scan on delivery.
I'll talk to you about that, some other time. So, but another thing, but my main thing though is, okay, so my team just notified me, if I go and deliver garments to a house, okay, and we scan, we make up a ticket for all our bags, okay. So if we go and deliver everything, and for some reason we forget to deliver this bag or something, or they couldn't find the bag in the morning to put with the order, and they never scan that ticket on, but somehow or another, they're saying that we don't get, even though we deliver everything else and scan everything else out the house, if we don't scan that one bag or that one garment that's missing, the whole order does not get paid. Is that correct?
So you're talking about pay when pick up, right?
Yeah.
So I would definitely recommend, and this is just again my recommendations to do pay when racked or ready, rather than on delivery.
But is
so that way you don't run into these issues.
So if they forget to scan an item or something, or just miss something, is that whole order not getting paid until that one thing gets scanned?
Correct. Yep.
Well,
why is that?
Hey, Mike, it's Chris again.
Hey, Chris.
So basically, the way SMART works is that any orders that share the same due date, it's going to wait for all those orders to be ready, or like you said, delivered, before it pays those orders. So if you do have so what we don't want to do, we want to avoid charging the customer's card multiple times.
Yeah.
So what would happen is, let's say you have 3 orders, they have the same due date, and you only deliver 2.
Yeah.
We want to charge the customer $25 for the first 2 orders, and then rerun their card again later that day or tomorrow. And then they might think it's fraudulent, or they're like, oh, why are you charging me so much? So we do limit the amount of charges based off of the customer's due date to their orders. So if you do have something like a bag that you couldn't find, that couldn't be delivered, or for some reason, you could do one of 2 things, right? The first thing is you could pick it up when you come back to the store, or you can change the due date on it. And if you do change the due date on it, the system will recognize that and auto charge the other order.
All right. So, but if I go pay at racking, so in the morning when they scan to load up their things, then they're automatically getting.
Exactly.
But say I miss something though. Say I miss a bag or something, and when racking, what's the difference between doing it the way I'm doing it now and with pay at racking?
Yeah. So so it will already be ready in order for it to be on the manifest, unless if you have it set up to be on manifest after assembly. But either way, you still have a racked ready area.
Yeah.
So once it hits that area, so the day before or the night before, whenever people are going through and racking everything post assembly, it hits that ready status, or that green bar status, and that's when auto pay will kick in that night.
Well, I do it the morning before. I mean, I do morning.
Or that too.
Okay, so so say I miss something, how's that different than from if I miss a bag? I mean, say when I'm racking, if I miss a bag or something, I don't know, are they still going to? So will they get? Chris was saying before that the due date. So if I miss that due date, is that order getting charged, or it's just, or still not? It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, so let's like for example, let's say you had a customer had 5 orders to go out, right? And then out of those 5 orders, you guys only racked 4 of the orders, and there's still an unfinished order sitting in the system. So the system will still, if they still have the same due date, the system will still wait until that order is ready to take the payment. However, in the delivery app, if you're loading your van, it will tell you you have an unfinished order, and it will tell you who the unfinished order belongs to. So you'll also know to go back and just rack the order, or to go change the due date prior to you going out to deliver it, right?
Okay. But there's no difference. What you're saying is racking
Exactly.
in the morning or racking when you get to the customer's house. The only thing I like racking about the customer's house, it's real time.
Exactly. And then, well, the thing about racking prior to delivering is that you know if the card has been declined or not, right?
Yeah.
And then
But
you have that option while you're in the store to fix any error. So let's say, for instance, you did see that you had an unfinished order, right? So at least you're already at the store. You know you can change the due date. You can do whatever you want to do. But once you deliver it, if you're waiting for the system to correct itself, you're waiting for the system to find out that that order hasn't been delivered yet, right?
So, but ours doesn't it beep? Can't you set it up that if the card is it gets declined, it beeps, and then you can go look it up on a computer and see why is my phone beeping, and then it says up in the top right hand corner the card has been declined. I mean that's what happens. I think. I mean in our circumstance, it beeps.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about the beep. I do know you'll see the not paid option, and it tells you that it hasn't been paid. So it will tell you that it's not paid. So that way you will know. But ultimately, the way those two things work is basically if you do rack it prior to, you'll know a lot more in advance than when you deliver it and then rack it after. So you don't have to create reports trying to figure out what got delivered that's not paid, and if we need to go back into a customer's account and fix something, right?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Now we've got Kathy coming up.
All
Hey,
right.
Kathy.
Am I unmuted? How are you, Tyler?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. So just a couple of comments and then one question. You were saying that you can turn off a feature that will not allow the drivers to manually scan items that they're loading onto their truck. Is that feature also available for counter staff? So instead of pushing the green buttons, we like them to scan. Is there a way to turn that off so they can't tap the green buttons?
Yeah. Yep. It's the same for both.
Okay. And is it something you have to do for us? Is it something we can do in settings?
You can do it in settings. Yep.
Can you give me a quick walkthrough of how I would do that in settings?
Yeah. Give me a quick second to make sure that I
Okay.
navigate to the correct spot. I believe it's under production settings. It should be require scan. Okay. Yep. So it's actually remove possibility to manually pick up bag and delivery app.
And it's also for counter?
There's a second one for the counter staff.
Okay. And it's
which
under
is right below it.
Okay. And it's under settings production?
Correct. Yep. And
Okay.
then it should be remove possibility. They're right in line with each other.
Okay. Okay. To manually pick up. Okay, that was my question, and then my 2 comments. We did turn on geofencing this week, and we've gotten our first 2 customers that have signed up online and gone right to the route, and it is awesome. Before it was like text messages and phone calls, and by that time those people had lost interest. And now we come in the morning and there's like 3 brand new people on our routes that had signed up and were, using the geofence system that you guys recently put in place. So I just want to say kudos to, that certainly a step ahead for us. And we're enjoying using that. Anybody that hasn't used geofencing, like you said too, Tyler, you can put all your geofences in place and not worry because you still have to turn it on. And so what we did is we turned it on one route at a time just to make sure it was working. And we didn't have any hiccups at all. So that was the good news. And the other one was Gina had mentioned marketing for old inventory, and we use smart marketing for old inventory, and it pays for itself. So anybody that's sitting on the fence wondering, how to get rid of old inventory, I say there's 2 ways. Credit card on file is number 1, and number 2, marketing, smart marketing so that, people receive automatic notifications for old inventory. That's all I have.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Love the feedback. It's great. Love to hear it. All right. I think, okay, we've got one more. Looks like we've got Bill coming back.
Yeah, I'm sorry, where is it exactly? So it doesn't allow you to scan, it only allows you to scan out invoices
Yeah.
for in-house, in-store.
Oh, yeah. So go ahead and go to settings,
Mhm.
business settings, system settings, and then you're going to go to production settings.
Systems, okay, productions, yep.
And then you should be able to, well, if you can search, you would control F and then type in remove. If not, you'll just have to scroll down. It's probably about halfway down the page. Just remove possibility to pick up bag on button click.
Is this for in-store?
Correct. Yep.
Remove possibility to pick up bag on button click. So turning that on, correct?
Right. Yep.
So now they have to scan every ticket out.
Yes.
Okay. And if it's ripped, they can just reprint the ticket and scan it.
Right. And it should print out right on the screen whenever you go ahead and hit pick up.
Now, just a pro tip for like managers or above for that. I'm almost positive you can actually type in the full invoice number with the letter at the end, and that will constitute the same as scanning it. So just keep that in mind if you like cannot print something at all, but you need to pick something up.
Gotcha. So even like an imported order.
Yeah, it would just
Great.
have to be the smart invoice number.
Okay.
And
Thanks, guys.
just a quick note, when you turn that setting on, it turns on immediately. So you might want to let your staff know that you're doing that, because what they'll also do is they won't be able to pick anything up the way they used to, and then they will think something's broken. So you just might want to let them know.
We tell them, yeah, we have them, we tell them it's mandatory to scan it, but now it will definitely, like, that's definitely it.
That makes sense. So it's a rule for you, but now it's really set in
Yes.
stone.
Exactly. Thanks, guys.
All right, and that's all the questions we have so far, and we are at the end of our time as well. Well, looks like we got Kathy real quick.
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing. I know that this was a trial and error period for Smart. I just have to say that Smart has so many features, so many amazing features, and we only know a handful of them. But every week we're starting to learn more and more of how we can really use this amazing software. And so I just hope you guys keep this going forever. That's all I got.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I think we're enjoying it too, making it part of our schedule every week.
I love that feedback, Kathy. Thank you so much for sharing that. That really makes it worthwhile for all of us in the room here.
right, and then with that, we're going to go ahead and bring this Tuesday Q&A to a close, and then go ahead and look out for our next week's email and to see what we've got going on next. And we should be sending a survey link in the chat. If you've got any suggestions, any feedback that you want to give, go ahead and put it in there. Thank you, everybody.